Hey everyone, it's Tyler here with another royal family video. Today we have some big news coming out of Buckingham Palace regarding King Charles and Prince Harry. It seems the relationship between the new monarch and his youngest son is continuing to deteriorate, as King Charles has now stripped Harry of his last remaining royal patronage and military honors. Let's get into the details. As many of you know, since stepping back from royal duties in 2020 and moving to California with his family, Prince Harry's honorary military appointments and royal patronages were placed on hold by Queen Elizabeth. This was done to allow for a one-year review period after their exit as senior working royals. Well, that review period has now ended, and King Charles has opted to remove Harry's ties to the British military entirely. According to reports, Harry held several notable military titles, including Captain General of the Royal Marines, Honorary Air Commandant of RAF Honington, and Commodore-in-Chief, Small Ships, and Diving. However, these high-profile roles within the British Armed Forces have now been returned to the King. Buckingham Palace released a statement saying His Majesty felt it was no longer fit for purpose for Harry to retain the prestigious titles while living abroad and pursuing private commercial ventures. This decision by King Charles is said to have come as a huge blow for Harry, who served 10 years in the British Army himself and held the military appointments as a way to honor the legacy of his military family. Harry has spoken in the past about how important it was for him to serve his country and how the military community became like a family to him. So to have those symbolic roles take away must sting, even if they were always dependent on being a working royal. It seems the final straw for Charles was Harry's upcoming memoir release, set for sometime next year. The book is rumored to include new bombshell claims about Harry's father and brother William. The increased hostility between Harry and the rest of the family over the past 2 years appears to have completely undermined any possibility of the military posts remaining for symbolic purposes only. For King Charles, it seems retaining the honors was unacceptable so long as Harry continues launching attacks on the institution. In addition to removing the military positions, King Charles has also removed Harry's 3 remaining royal patronages: the Rugby Football Union, Rugby Football League, and London Marathon Charitable Trust. While he retains his patronages of African Parks and Senegal, all of his UK-based charity roles have now been handed to other royals. The rugby organizations will now be headed by Prince William, completing Harry's total removal from any formal connections to British life. It's understandable why King Charles has taken this action, but at the same time it's hard not to feel sympathy for Harry in this situation. Yes, he stepped away from royal duties of his own free will to seek more freedom and financial independence in the U.S. But the reality is he never wanted to cut all ties to the UK and the causes he deeply cared about there. And while his recent interviews and the upcoming book have inflamed tensions, let's not forget the underlying reasons he and Meghan felt they had to leave in the first place: lack of support from the royal family, and what some believe to be racist attitudes within the institution itself. So to now have every last thread to Britain severed so decisively must really sting for Harry, even if he brought it upon himself to some degree. These military and patronage roles were important symbols of his place within the royal family and UK society. To have his father take that all away leaves Harry totally adrift from his homeland and heritage. It's the final closure of the Megxit chapter and the erasure of any compromise option to stay loosely affiliated with the crown while also living privately overseas. There's no doubt this move has further damaged the already fractured relationship between King Charles, William, and Harry. Sources close to the palace say Charles is said to be furious over continued leaks from Harry's camp, and Harry himself is reported to now feel he has no choice left but to go bigger in his criticisms of the royal family in future interviews and publications. Their public reunion at the Queen's funeral appears to have done little to heal the deep-rooted tensions between them. So where does this leave things between Harry and the rest of the royals going forward? It's hard to see a path towards meaningful reconciliation anytime soon. Even if Harry decided to stop doing interviews and publishing damaging books, it seems Charles will have a hard time trusting his son again or viewing him as anything more than a troubled family member living abroad. At the same time, Harry removing himself entirely from British life and institutions may push him further into feeling like a permanent outsider with no place left in the country or family he left behind. It's a very sad situation all around. While everyone can understand the need to draw clear professional lines, given Harry's non-working status now, stripping him of everything related to the UK does seem rather punitive and designed more to punish than anything else. Time will tell if Harry doubles down on criticism of the Crown as a result, or pursues other options like reconciling on his own terms going forward. But for now, this looks to be the final definitive break between our favorite former royal and the only family he's ever known back home across the pond. Let me know your thoughts on this latest development down below. That's all for today.